Now, how do we differentiate between, okay, this is a part of the divine plan and I want to draw boundaries and I want to pick a different path? How do we differentiate between that?
Everything is a part of a divine plan. If I'm meant to do this, this is a plan that's orchestrated for me. But in that moment, I have a power of choice. That's also a part of divine plan, right?
Yeah.
The choices, I've been given this and the tools. You got to do something in your life, right? The divine plan, the divine guidance is there. But hey, what are you doing? If the divine self has to take over everything, then we're not doing anything. But we got to play with the human mind. That's the play, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the world's a stage. What are we doing? What are we playing? How are we playing? So the tools have been given to you. Not necessarily. Sometimes we have to go acquire the tools, right? So with the tools that you have the power of choice. Make the choice. Let me see. Show your higher self what kind of choice you would make. Stay connected with the higher self and make a choice from that space. Then I'm responsible for the choice. I'm not going to say this is what God wanted. Yeah, this is the divine force flowing through me. It is still my choice. Or this is the force that's flowing through me and I have been guided. And I'm simply a vessel. However you choose to see it, as long as we're able to see that I'm entirely responsible for the situation.
And in this journey of understanding this, how crucial was yoga for you?
Huge. Yoga in terms of philosophy. The first time I remember my first philosophy class, I was sitting in Shivananda ashram. I couldn't speak to anybody right after that session. I was just staring at nothing.
This? Huh? When was this? How many years ago?
2018.
Okay.
In 2018, I was sitting in the ashram, and that was my first philosophy session. And I was left with more questions, and it's like there's a part of me that opened up. But I do remember I had this experience. I remember I was 14, and my brother has always read Swami Vivekananda's books. And I remember there was this one page he had taken a photocopy of, and I think he had left it for somebody. But I wanted to read something, and I didn't have a book. And I felt like just sitting with it and reading it because it was just one sheet. But I remember I read that. It felt like it was so familiar. But when I put that text away, I couldn't say a single word. But when I read it, there was a part of me that completely understood. But even that I'm able to say now. I could not put this in words then. I knew I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't understand what I was feeling. I remember right after reading that, I just stood in the balcony and just looked at everything. I don't know what I read in that. I can't pull up anything that I read in that, but I remember the feeling so clearly. And then later in understanding with all the expansion, I realized, that's how you remember things. That's how you remember things. That felt so familiar. When I put it away, I couldn't even talk about it, but yet it felt so familiar. And that's why we seek and constantly want to learn. That's what the philosophy class did. And then I learned to question. Later I learned to question, why am I feeling like this? There is more to life. There's definitely more to life than that. Happened to me, of course, after my dad. I knew there was more to life, because if there wasn't more to life, where's my dad? I was not going to let go of it like that. There is space. There is something. And I needed to expand myself to feel his presence, which means I was allowing myself to expand beyond the physical realm to feel his presence, which means I needed to believe in magic. I needed to believe in miracles. I needed to believe in divine guidance, guardian angel. All of this was born out of that for me, that I'm so grateful for. I feel like he just gifted me all of this, He didn't leave me with, he didn't just leave me, because it's inevitable. It happens to all of us at some point. Somehow we don't talk about it. We're never ready for it, but it happens, We live as if we are here to accumulate, but then no.
So what happened after 2018?
I got so deep into understanding, started reading a lot about, I wouldn't exactly say philosophy, but I started listening to a lot of people to see their understanding, their take. I love listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza. Yeah. It's just so awakening, because he puts it in simple words.
Yes.
I have to be honest there. Like when I read sometimes, it has felt a lot overwhelming for me, because I'm not able to understand the terms. I'm not able to, what does this mean? What does that mean? But then he breaks it down so simple that it just lands. And then I started doing the practice. I started doing the blessings of the energy center. I think that truly transformed. It created a huge shift for me in my life. And that was during pandemic. And that one meditation that I did every single day made a huge difference for me. Yeah, so I kept diving deeper, and I'm still diving. The more deeper I go, I feel like I'm on the surface. I'm like, oh my God,
There's so much more.
There is so much more. And that's such a beautiful feeling, because you know that you're in it and you're so dedicated to, being curious.
Yeah.
What is there? What is more? What more can I learn from this? What more can I learn about myself? Because then you realize I'm nothing. What am I doing? Yeah.
Are there still days in your life where you kind of go out of alignment and you become aware of it?
Yes, of
And
course.
what do you do to get back?
Simple practices like taking deep breaths to truly understand how I feel. I love journaling. And when I say journaling, it's not, this is how I feel about today. One of the ways that I like to journal is, if I'm feeling something, I like to sit down and I open up my book and I just get into a state of flow, not to describe something, just write whatever comes to my mind. First, I need to understand what is hanging here, what's making me feel misaligned. I need to bring it down into this realm, to bring it into the physical life. Now I'm looking at it. What are the words I've written? Sometimes I just want to just doodle something, whatever it is that I feel like. It's a form of expression. First get it down, bring it down, anchor it down, so now I can understand it. Right? And then I bring it down